Alright, so now we'll work on user profile photo change. So in this, we are going to use cropping image functionality, image crop functionality. So for this, we are going to use Syncfusion's image editor control. Okay, so we need to install that package. First, let me close all tabs and open NuGet package manager. So Syncfusion image editor, Syncfusion image editor.net MAUI. Okay, we can go here and you'll see all the related information here. We need to install this Syncfusion MAUI image editor. This package, copy, go to Visual Studio, search for it. We have it. Let's install. After that, we need to register the handler. So this builder.configure Syncfusion core. We need to do this thing. We'll do this on this chain only. Configure Syncfusion core. And let's wait for it to install. Okay, it is installed. Now let's go to mauiprogram.cs and here we'll simply say dot configure Syncfusion core. Configure Syncfusion core from Syncfusion MAUI core hosting namespace. Save it, and after this you can play around with this. You can read all this documentation and all. Okay, but I'll directly jump into the implementation. Okay, so here basically we need to use this namespace to access this, and we have SF image editor control. Then there are a lot of things you can see. So for us, what we are going to do, we are going to create a separate page for cropping. So we'll have image selection on the main profile page only or on register page. But to crop the image, we'll go to a next page because we need same functionality from here. And when we are registering the user, there also we have upload add photo option, right? So from there also we will use the this image crop functionality. Inside pages, I'm going to create one more page. Let's say new item, .NET MAUI, .NET MAUI content page XAML. We'll say, let's say crop photo page. All right, save everything. And in this, we'll get rid of this vertical stack layout. We will have the image editor control, and then we are going to have two buttons here. One is for cancellation, so cancel, and one will be save or accept changes. Okay, so for this, we are going to have a grid with a row definition of star for the first and auto for the second row where we are going to have our buttons. And on this page only, we don't need title, and we will say let's say some padding. We'll say padding of 15, and we don't need any uh, the title bar. We don't need the title bar here. So we'll say shell dot nav bar is visible to false. Now inside this grid, first thing we need our image editor control. So for that we need to have Syncfusion's namespace first. So we'll say xmlns, let's say image editor only, equals, here we can say Syncfusion, search for Syncfusion MAUI image editor. Syncfusion dot MAUI dot image editor. This was the one. It is not coming. Okay, let's copy this actual namespace from here, from this documentation. Save. And now we can use this image editor namespace. So we'll say SF image editor, which comes from this image editor control. And then we are going to have two buttons. For those buttons, we can have a grid, uh, grid dot row 1, and this SF image editor, this is going to be in row 0. So grid dot row 0, and on the second grid we are going to have two columns. So column definition, let's have some spacing in between, so we'll have three columns. So we'll say auto, star, and auto, because I don't know how much long these buttons are going to be. That's why to have these on each corner, one on left, one on right, that's why I am having this. So auto for the cancel button, this auto for the save or accept changes button, and the center part is space for spacing. All right, so let's have our first button. We'll say grid dot column 0, and here we'll say text cancel. Then we are going to have one more button. This will be grid dot column 2. I am skipping column 1 because that I am having for the spacing between these two columns. Here we'll say accept changes. So just accept. And I guess we are good. Now for this we can have view models, but I'll use this code behind only for this one. So we need to just have a name for this image editor, and we are going to use this image editor in our code behind to handle all the operations on this. Okay, let's call it image editor only. Image editor. Okay, and on this we have a show toolbar option as well, because we just want cropping, nothing else. We'll say show toolbar false. It has other options as well, crop, flip, and a lot of operations basically, but we don't need all of those. We are just using for cropping an image. Now for cropping also we have different options. It is going to show us, you can read this documentation entirely. It has a lot of things. Yeah, so we have crop, transformations, filters, shapes, a lot of things, but we just need that only. And if you go to crop, this is what we are going to use. Cropping, we have freehand crop, original crop, square crop, ratio, circle, ellipse, lot of cropping options. So we are going to use a circle crop. Freehand crop, we have this here. You see, we can crop from anywhere. Then original crop, square crop, so it will always be in square shape. Ratio, circle, this is the one we are going to use. For this, if you see, we have this code behind where we can say image editor dot crop image crop type dot circle. We need to use this thing. But here, if you see, we have this image already. This image was already here. It's directly easy to use it, or we are cropping this. In this example, we have a button, and when user clicks on this button, then they are cropping it. But in our case, what is going to happen? We will get the image from previous page, right? Because selection of image, selection of photo, that we are doing on the profile page or register page. So we need that information here. So for that, we have query property. Now with query property, same thing, name and query ID. So here we can have simple photo source, public string photo source. So for query property, we can say name of photo source, and again name of photo source. So for both of the things, I'm going to use the same. Now when we were using MVVM, there we have that partial methods whenever this thing is getting changed, but right now when we are here we don't have that. So for this, what we can do, we have an interface, that is I query attributable, okay, which gives us one method, apply query attributes, which has this same dictionary string object query. That means the thing which we are using with this query property, and from previous page we'll provide parameters using the dictionary string object. So if we have this, after setting those, this .MAUI is going to call the method of this interface. Let's implement this. We have this apply query attributes, so we are here. Okay, now from this query we need to get the photo source. Let's see. So here we can say if query dot try get value, okay, name of photo source, if we have it, then we'll simply store out var this photo source. We'll have this information here. If that is not the case, we'll skip it, we will not do anything. Now we have this photo source which is of type string. Then we will simply set the photo source equals this photo source. After this, on this image editor, here we need to convert it to string because this is an object. Then we have our image editor, which we just defined here, and we provided this name. This name, using this name we are going to get it, image editor dot source. Now we are going to set this source. Because this image is dynamic, it will be passed from the previous page. That's why we are doing it here. After this, now image can take some time to load. And how this is going to work, the crop and all, we have image editor dot crop, if you remember. But for this crop to work, we need to have that image already loaded in this image editor. What is going to happen here, we are setting the source, but we don't know when this photo will be loaded inside this image editor. Okay, this is not something like when we set it and it's automatically loaded and then it is going to the next operation. This is not what happens. So to handle these cases, this image editor, we have event image loaded. We are going to add an image here. This event handler image loaded. Now here we know, we are sure that image is loaded. Now we can call image editor dot crop. Okay, inside this we need to provide this image crop type, so we'll say image crop type dot circle. After that, what we'll do, we'll simply remove this image loaded event handler from here. We don't need it now. So image editor dot image loaded minus equals this thing, just remove it now. With this we will be good. Okay, here let's check one more thing. And not string dot is null or white space this photo source. Or maybe to handle this thing, let's do this. We'll handle this thing in this if condition. Here we can say if this is the thing, if photo source is null or white space. Let's do this, photo source object and photo source object is string photo source. Just to typecast and verify that this is the string only. So now we have this photo source. If this is the case, we'll simply say await shell dot, not shell, we'll say toast dot make, let's say no photo found, something like this. No photo provided for cropping, something like this. Dot show. And then we'll simply return from here. But ideally, we should go back to the previous page from here. So we'll say await shell dot current dot go to async, and we'll simply say dot dot to go back, and then simply return from here. Now, if that is not the case, that means we have this photo source which is in string format. So now we can simply do this, omit this thing. We are setting photo source. We are setting this to image editor dot source. We are adding this image handler, this event handler. And whenever image is fully loaded inside this image editor, then this event handler is going to be invoked. And here we are enabling the cropping, and crop type is circle, and then we are simply removing it. Now we will be able to crop the image. After cropping, we have two options. One is save and one is cancel. So let's have two methods here. We'll say private void, we'll say cancel. Okay. So for cancellation, because we are going to use events here, what I mean by event is on this button, if we say clicked, this is what we are going to use. So it gives us one object sender and one event args e. We don't need both of these. Here inside cancel, we will first check if our image editor has any unsaved changes. It gives us a lot of properties and events. There we have this has unsaved edits. That means we were here, then we cropped something, and then we are canceling it. Cancellation will go back to the previous page, but maybe we accidentally tapped on the cancel button. So to handle that case, we'll do this thing here. So we're saying if image editor dot has unsaved changes, then we'll simply ask for a confirmation. Okay. So let's say if await shell dot current dot display alert, and we are going to use that task of bool, this one, title message accept cancel. Okay. Title would be, we'll say cancel cropping, something like this. And message, you can say do you really want to cancel uh, cancel the crop, or let's say cancel this action, something like this. And then we'll have yes and no, two buttons. Now if user pressed yes, then we'll do something. If user pressed no, then we will not do anything. That means user wants to be on the same screen, he wants to perform some other operation as well. Alright, if user does that, then we'll simply say image editor dot cancel edits to reset the image, and then we'll simply go back to the previous page. Shell dot current dot go to async dot dot and just return from here. Alright, now if that's not the case, so inside this we are okay. Outside of this, if let's have an else case where we don't have any unsaved edits, we can go back to the previous page directly. So here also we can maybe have the similar type of uh, confirmation, but this time we'll simply say just cancel. Do you really want to? Or maybe just say, are you sure? Something like this. Just you can modify this message as per your need. I'm just showing you that we can do this. Yes and no. And if yes, then we'll simply go to async. There is no point of having this written because we are using if else. Here we don't need to set any cancel edits or anything because we already have this. Now because we are using this else and direct if inside it, we can directly do this. Else if. Alright, so cancel is fine. After that, we are going to have one save event handler or accept. That is accept, right? we are using accept. Let's say accept changes underscore click. Yeah, do this. Cancel underscore click. Okay. Now on these buttons, we can say clicked, and this is cancel button, right? So cancel click. This accept will say clicked, accept changes click. Now here again, first we'll check if we have any unsaved changes. If we don't have any unsaved changes and we are saying accept changes, so here we are going to show an alert. Simple, we'll say await shell.current.display alert. Title could be anything. Message, let's say there are no changes, and then just okay. So there are no unsaved changes, so we are not going to do anything. We'll simply return from here. That means save will not do anything. Now after this, here if we came, that means we have some unsaved changes and user has pressed this accept button. So here we can say image editor dot save edits. Now we have the actual image. After this, from this image editor, we can get the updated data. So on this image editor, we have a method get image stream. We can get a stream from here, and this is an awaitable method. So that means here we can say var new photo stream equals await this image editor dot get image stream. All right. Now what we need to do, we need to save this new image, which is cropped now. We need to save this image somewhere. Okay. So let's do this. Here we'll say var, let's say temp path equals path dot combine, and we can have our file system dot maybe cache directory, and then some name of the file. So for this we can simply have GUID dot new GUID, and then extension. So we can get the extension var extension equals path dot get extension. We have photo source, right? We can get the extension of that photo source, so the actual image, original image extension. We have this extension. Now here after GUID, we'll simply say extension. So now we have this new temp path. Now we just need to save it. So for this we'll say using var file stream equals file dot, let's say open write. So this is the new file. We'll say temp path, and we'll say await new photo stream dot copy to async this file stream. Okay. And after this we can go back to the previous page. So we'll say await shell dot current dot go to async dot. Now we will go back to the previous page, but we need to pass back this new temp path to the previous screen, because now the cropped image is saved at this place. So we need to tell the previous page this is the cropped image. So for this we can have multiple approaches. Same thing, we can have params here. We'll say param equals same new dictionary of string object, or we can use direct query string also. This works same. So we can say question mark, let's say new src, new source equals, and we can have our temp path here. So this will work. All right. Looks like we are done with this page, code of this page. We just need to test it out, but before that we need to come to this page. Okay. Let's do that. First thing we need to do, we need to register this crop photo page in our app shell routing. So here where we are registering our routes in our app shell, so we'll say routing dot register route, name of crop photo page, type of crop photo. Now let's go to profile page. We are here in our view models, profile view model. Here we are going to define a method which is going to be used as event. So we'll say private async task. Let's say change photo async. Okay. And from here we'll say var param equals new dictionary string object. Then key is going to be name of crop photo page dot photo source. The value is going to be the no, not directly. From here we first need to get the photo source. That means we will have same two options, that upload from gallery, upload from device, and capture photo. So we need to get those things. That means the way we are doing select photo on the save post view model is select photo async. We need to use this thing actually. So now this is going to be used here, then it is going to be used on our profile view model, and we are going to use the same thing on our register page as well. Right there also we have that choose photo from both of those places and all. So I guess this is a good candidate to be moved to base view model, not base post but base view model. Let's copy this. But after that we have this case where we are setting this photo path. The setting part would be directly inside individual view models, but all this operation, checking if capture is supported, providing these options, and actually getting the file from device or from camera, all these operations should be moved to the base view model, and from there we will directly return the result, this full path or null. So we'll return these things. Let's quickly go to base view model. Base view model, we are going to paste this method, select photo async. This is fine, and this is not going to be private. Now it would be protected at least, or public. Protected protected, this is right? Protected. All right, protected async task, select photo async. Now we have all these things. It should return task of string, nullable string actually. Whenever we have this kind of thing, we'll simply return null. That means we don't need to do anything. Then from here we will not do this thing. Instead we'll return this thing, and if this is not the case, we'll return null. So that means these methods should also return nullable string. Let's do same thing for our this capture photo async method. So return null and return this thing from here. Now from these methods we can directly return this, and when we are returning there is no point of having break. Return and just remove this. And if we are good, if it does not go inside this, we can simply say return null. If we came here, inside this we have everything, and I guess when we are here, if it came here, we should show and toast message here. We'll say show toast async capture is not supported, something like this, and just return null. Now we are good. Now we can access the select photo async method. So we'll first go to our save post view model where we have actual this thing, private async task select photo async. Now we need to change the name. We should change the name to avoid confusion. Let's call it choose photo async. In base view model, we have choose photo async. And in individual view models, we can name it whatever we want. But inside the save post view model, we are going to have the select photo async. Now here, we can simply say what selected photo source, something like this, equals await choose photo async. Okay. Then we can simply check if this is not string.h null or white space selected photo source, then we are good. If this is null, that means something happened there. Either the capture is not supported, it will show toast message, or user cancelled from here, it will again not do anything, which is fine. User knows user has cancelled it. Or from here, if there is some error or user did not select anything, then we'll have this toast message. So all the UI UX related stuff is being handled in this method only. Here we just need to use it. Now we'll use this photo path equals directly. If this is not null and empty, then we'll do this photo path equals this selected photos. Save it, and then we can simply get rid of this entire method. We did this because we need this functionality at three different places. So one is this, which was already there. We handled this. Now we'll simply copy this thing. We'll go to our profile view model, and here we'll do this same thing. We'll say selected photo equals await choose photo async. Then we are going to check it. Then when we are inside this if method, we got some image. Here we are going to set the name of crop photo image source to this selected photo source. Now we have our params ready. Now we can go to the next page. So we'll say await navigate async. Where we want to go to? We want to go to crop photo page. Name of crop photo page. And we want to provide these parameters. Save everything. And now we should be good. We just need to use this change photo async as a relay command. Then on the profile page, file page, where we have that added photo pencil icon, this pencil icon. Here we are going to say border dot gesture recognizer, tab gesture recognizer, and command will say binding change photo command. Save it, and we should be good. Cool. So from here, we'll be able to move to the crop photo, and after successfully doing everything, so accept change, when we are here, we are returning back this new source. So we need to handle this new src. Now when we are coming back, and this is actually a shell navigation parameter, so this is going to be a query parameter. So on this profile view model, we can have a query property here. Query property. Here we need to provide name, which we are going to use on this page. On this page, what we are going to use, we can actually have a private nullable string, and we can say underscore cropped photo source, something like this. And this is going to be an observable property. Save it. Now if we go to the top, query property will be name of this cropped photo source, because this is where we want to store the cropped photo source. Then comes the second parameter. This is query ID. This is going to be this new src, because this is the thing which we are passing from our crop photos XAML. So I am just using this direct hard coded string so that you know that we can do this thing here like this and like this, because most of the time you will see I'm using this name of this and name of this, so it is same, so it gets confusion for some of the people. So you can think this like this. The new source, this is what we are sending from the previous page, and this is where we are storing it when we are coming here. All right. So we set this. Now when we come back to this page, this is going to be set. So we can use our partial method on cropped photo source changed. We will have it here. So this new value, this is actually going to be this cropped photo source. When we have this new cropped photo source, what we need to do? We need to simply call our API for this uploading this new photo. That's what we need to do, right? Okay. So here, first thing we'll verify if new value is not null. This not string dot is null or white space. This new value. That means we have this new photo source. Then what we'll do, we'll simply say await, make API call, async, and again this async should be moved before partial sync. Now here we have our user API underscore users API dot, we have changed photo async method which we are using iForm file to send, right? But if you know, for sending a file using this we need to use stream part. First we'll change this interface, so instead of iForm file we'll use stream part, and then on this method we need to have multi part as well. Save it, and now we should be good. Let's go back and let's generate or create this stream part. First we need file name, so let's say new photo name, we can say this equals, this is going to be path dot get file name from new value. Then we are going to say using var fs file stream equals file dot open read. We are opening this file to read. Then we'll have our var photo stream part equals new stream part, and we will provide stream and then file name, this photo name. Now we have this photo stream part which we can directly pass to this change photo async. We'll say photo stream part. We are good. Now it returns us task of API result of string. We'll say var result equals this. Then we'll quickly verify if not result dot is success. Is what happened? Oh, we need to await it. Await. Now result is API result. It's success. If this is not success, then we'll show error alert. Await. Show error alert async. We'll say result dot error, and then we'll return from here. Now, if that's not the case, that means the operation was successful. We'll know var new photo source or new photo URL, we could say, equals result dot data. This is the newly updated URL we have. Now here what we can do, we'll simply say we need to update this user's profile photo now. Okay, so we have this user here in logged in user, right? This user property, and this logged in user is actually a record type, so we cannot directly update record because record are immutable. So what we can do instead, we can simply modify this user, assigning this user back with the new value. So we are updating photo URL, it will be this new photo. So this is how we can modify a record, but it does not modify, it actually creates a copy and it assigns back to this. So we have this new user now. We just need to modify the token as well. In this case, when we say token, that means we have this thing in our login state. We need to modify that also. So we'll say auth service dot will recall our login method with the new login response DTU, where we have user as a first parameter. So this updated user, and then we need to have token. This token we can get from auth service only because we have not modified token, so we are good with it. All right. Now when we change this, now we have list of my posts here, right? These are my posts. So here I am going to modify the photo URL for all of my posts which are on the screen right now. Let's say change the user photo URL in my posts. We can simply say for each per post in my posts, and we'll say post dot user photo URL equals this new photo URL. Okay. Now because we are modifying photo URL, so this user photo URL, this should be an observable property. But right now this is not. So let's convert it to observable property so that UI gets updated for this one. What we'll do, we'll simply say private the label string underscore user photo URL. Then we'll simply remove this thing and we'll provide observable property as an attribute on this. Okay. Now on the UI side there, we had that. Yeah, for user photo URL also we need to do. So we were doing somewhere, right? We were checking if user photo URL is there, then we'll use that. If that is not the case, then we'll use the that user.png. I think we're using that in logged in user model, right? Yes, we're using that in logged in user. So logged in user, yes, this thing. So we should do the same similar thing in here as well. After user photo URL, we'll do this string photos. Instead of photo, we'll say user photo, and it will check for user photo URL. If we have that, then we'll use that. If we don't have that, then we'll use user.png as a fallback. Now whenever user photo URL is getting changed, we need to change this user photo as well. So we will use notify property changed for name of user photo URL. Save it. Now we should be good. Profile view model, we are okay. Now let's go to profile page.xml, and here we should use user photo URL. Okay, here we are using user photo, which is for the profile photo, this for this one, and for other things we are using the collection view, right? So that means we have all those things in those templates. So we need to change those. Right now, we must have be using user photo URL, but what we need to use now, we need to use user photo, right? That's why if you remember, we are not seeing anything right now because user image does not exist. So we'll quickly go to all our templates. Before that, let me close all these and let's open our templates and open all the templates. And here we'll search for user photo URL. So instead of user photo URL, we'll say user photo. Save it. Here also we'll say user photo. Save it. And then again here as well, we'll say user photo. So save it. This is this user photo. But why is this complaining? Target I notify property changed must be a different accessible property. Oh, this should not be user photo here. This should be this user photo. Save it, and we should be good now. Let's start the app. Alright, so I'm here. App is running. I am on my profile page. Now let's try this. Before that, if you see, we have these user photo icons now. Let's do this pick from device or capture photo. Let's say pick from device. We have the screenshots. Let's select anyone, maybe this one. No photo provided for source, and something is not correct here. No photo provided for source, right? Let's see what this is. Let's close all tabs and open our view models, profile view model. First thing is this. Next, we need to open up pages and our crop photo page. This was here. Oh, I did this opposite. If you see, it should be if string dot is null or white space. Then we need to do this thing. Save everything and let's restart. We are on home page. Let's try to go to profile page. Pick from device. Select, and you see we are on this page now. And we have this circular crop with this cancel and accept buttons. If I do this, now if I press cancel, it is asking me for cancel the cropping. I'll say no. Let's select this broccoli and accept. Could not find file. This one, we have one error. Let's see what this error is. So this error, where do we get this error? In accept changes, do we have something? No. Let's put a breakpoint here. Then let's put a breakpoint on profile view model. That exception that might be coming inside this thing. Let's have this breakpoint here as well. So we'll say okay. Let's try again. I'll say this, pick from device, select this one again, select this thing, I'll say accept. We have this thing. Come here, let's start debugging. And save changes, we'll say save edits, new photo stream, extension. The extension is .jpg, temp path. This is going to be some path. Data user 0, our package name and all, cache and all these things. Then we have file stream, new photo stream, copy to async. We have this file till here. We'll go here, continue. Now if we see new value, we have this entire thing. Then we'll come inside this. Let's put a breakpoint here as well. We are here, new photo name. We have this thing, open read. And then we have some exception here. If we'll come here, we'll see ex. It says system.io.file not found exception, could not find this file. And but we have this file, right? So what is happening here is okay. So what is happening here when we use this version of using, what it does, this will be disposed when we are out of the scope. But right now, because we are doing this using here, we are till here without disposing. We use this. So it's better to try to dispose this right away. What I mean is we can use simple this previous version of using. So we'll do this. Let's see if it helps. Now open read. This will save it and just dispose it, and then it will go back to the previous page with this path. So this file should be available now. Let's quickly try it out. Okay, we are here on the profile page. Let's try again. Pick from device, same thing. I'm going to use the same image. Accept. Breakpoint is here. Continue. And we are here. Let's again continue. FS. Again we have some error. What this is now? Could not find file. Okay, file name is still not slash this. File name. File name. Something is not right. We are sending temp path from here. Okay, we have the entire file path. In profile view model. Okay. Okay, my bad. We are using this photo name here to open read, but this should be this new value. But the thing we did in here, this is fine, this is correct. If we don't do this, then what would happen? Here, when we will try to open this read, this stream might not disposed yet, so it will say that this file is being used by some another process. So we might get that exception. So using this makes sense. Then we are here, we need to use new value. Now it was not able to find it because we just had the name, not the entire path. We need the entire path. Now let's restart again. I'll go to the profile page and come to this screen. Okay, so we are on profile page. Try again. Pick from device. Let's use avocado this time. Accept. Continue. This is the cropped image. Then from here also, I think let's continue. What happens? Continue. Loader. And then this image got updated. But this is not, yeah, updated inside this as well. Although this image is not looking that good here, but we know our crop functionality is working. Okay, cool. So maybe first we'll work on the that register page photo as well. Then we'll try to fix the design for this because this will be at centralized place. So this should be like this everywhere. So on all these controls here and inside comments as well. If you remember in comment also we have the, if you open any of this and if we add some comment here, so here also we need to have the same kind of thing, right? So we'll fix that later. But next thing is, let's uh, handle this or this image cropping functionality. Let's use this on the register page as well, where we have our user photos. All right.